Menta Kaikile. Everybody can hear me?
Okay, yes, we have tested.
Good, great. So I'm happy that I'm going to present to you the results from, just a second, I have to share. Okay. So now everybody can see this, right? Okay. Yes. So I'm very happy to present the results and the experiences I gained from the conference that was held in September in Kosovo. On the way, it was very difficult to get there because I had some technical problems in the plane, in the air, but thanks God I could make it. So there was a conference that was organized mainly by the University of Gießen in Germany in cooperation with University of Pristina and University of Tirana from Albania. This conference, it was organized also through the Embassy of Germany in Kosovo, and it has to do about the biodiversity and agriculture in the Balkan Peninsula. First, I want to talk shortly about what's happening, and then I want to also take some time about the results, because after this visit, I have some concrete steps and plans that we continue further with the cooperation with these three universities. The conference took place from the 21st until the 23rd of September, but then I stayed one day more there in order that I do some contacts and some agreements. The main thing that it happened there, it was that I met a lot of teachers and professors and researchers from these three institutions. I had there two presentations because I sent it the abstracts. It was not very easy to get there, but luckily two of the abstracts were accepted, and then they invited me that I am also a key speaker in one of the sessions. I think Hilka has some information about agriculture in Kosovo, and Antti as well. Antti even had a visit there. So I wanted just to give very short information about the Kosovo agriculture. It's somehow developing very rapidly because it's seen now as a very profitable economic sector of Kosovo, and they see future there. But because it's so fast developing, they are afraid that it will not be sustainable. So they are trying to find the ways of how they can develop agriculture, but at the same time, they take care about biodiversity and other issues in Kosovo in order that they increase investment opportunities. There was 5 sessions, and I attended all of them. First one was plant production and protection, animal science, weed and landscape ecology, ecotoxicology, and other topics that they were open about the sustainable agriculture. Of course, my concentration and my higher interest, it was on the second session about animal science. And I don't know if we have time to go through all the abstracts, but I have the book of abstracts, and I can share with everybody who is interested to know more about the abstracts. The abstract that I submitted and they were accepted, it was on the move to sustainable agriculture, which I prepared with Kati, and I was key speaker for this session as well. Another abstract is that during the spring semester this year, I had international students and Finnish students working in an issue, sex semen use in Finland and Austria, and I presented their results there. And I have to mention that both abstracts now, we have invitation to submit the full paper, and deadline is next week, so I'm working hard that I prepare these 2 papers and send for the publication. Yeah, and there were there were, in the first symposium, I was also key speaker together with Professor Fetahu from University of Pristina, and it was good chance also to promote Pro-Agria and Savonia there. And then based on this speech, I had this request for meeting the rector of College Universum in Kosovo, and I will let you know further what happened with this university. And then we had another keynote speaker. He was from the Technical University of München, the first speaker, and the second speaker was from the University of Tirana in Albania. And on the third symposium, we had a professor from Germany, from University of Gießen, with very interesting speech that he had. In the fourth symposium, there was again University of Gießen who was holding this symposium and a key speaker, and there was discussion mainly about ecotoxicology and mainly in the very atomic and molecular level. So it was very scientific and it was really difficult to follow all, but it was very interesting. Yes, and what was the further issues that there happened is that with the University of Gießen, we had long meeting, University of Pristina and University of Tirana. We agreed that together they are planning that on 2019 they are going to prepare a Horizon 2020 project about sustainable agriculture, and they are interested to invite University of Savonia as a partner in that project, which our interest is very high that we start being also partners in Horizon 2020, that because we know how difficult and how challenging these goals are. So we are very interested to see if we can find ourselves as partner there, and they are working and drafting the main idea, and then they will send it to all partners in order that we see what is the interest to be there. And I had a meeting also separately with University of Pristina, with the Dean of Agriculture and Veterinary Faculty, because I'm at the stage of preparing Erasmus Plus project where deadline is March next year. So we agreed for the steps, and because the project has mainly the idea of developing, how can I say, developing tools for the teaching, like adding more digital learning and e-learning tools in the teaching, because this is something that is missing in University of Pristina. And then in meantime, University of Tirana, they had also the same interest that they become partners to this project as well. So now I'm working very intensively on this issue after this visit that I had in September. So this trip helped me that I built this partnership in order that I start doing writing the proposal, because sometimes it's very difficult that you make partners sit together and make partners like being all together at the same place. And then there was a field trip in a region where the vineyards are very developed. I think also with Antti we were once there. So it was interesting because not very much is done in those countries. Like there is not a bridge or linkage between education and real life partners, like with businesses or other organizations that they could be easily the ones who will employ these students in the future. So there is not a good link. So the RDI model was somehow presented there, like during discussions, and there is like a huge need in the future that they develop this kind of projects. And there I see the Pro-Agria role, if we come to the idea in the future to develop a joint project on that field. And then the last meeting, which was very interesting, it was with the rector of the College Universum, which is university level in Kosovo. I was presenting or promoting there the Savonia products, and they were very interested if they can somehow buy some services from Savonia, like teaching, because they are lacking resources for some teaching, and they are like trying that they use as much as possible digital tools in their teaching. Uh, Based on that visit and based on the presentation that I did there for the staff of university, we had a visit of the rector here in November, uh, 10 to 12 November. He was visiting Savonia. He visited all our premises. We had also a meeting with University of Eastern Finland, and we have now two concrete steps with them. First one is that we are drafting together a course, which I will be in charge from Savonia, and we are involving Kosovo, this university, their students, that they will attend this course. And then we will have also the Netherlands. They will also join this course, and it has to do with agriculture in global context. So what we are trying to do here is that we will have a lot of casework where students from Finland will be working in a team with students from Kosovo and Netherlands through the digital tools like online. At the same time, we have students, multi-pro students who are coming here. So we will have other groups that they will be working with international students directly. And then in the end, we can just like test and take the experiences to see how it is to work with in international environment when you don't meet them directly and when you meet them directly. We will ask like a task in this course that students will prepare kind of business idea, and then in that way, students will learn what are the challenges, what are the cultures of different countries in order that you develop a rural business idea. And that's the best way how students could learn from each other and from other countries. So this is one of the ideas, and I'm preparing this. And of course, I am also planning that I find a way that we have also a kind of presentation from ProAgria in order that we explain international students how we cooperate with ProAgria and how it's like real-life partners involved in the education. So this is the first idea, and the second idea, which we are working on, that is also we are developing a project idea about Erasmus Plus project, and that's because this university is very interested to develop a curricula about the economics in agriculture. So how students will be able in the future to develop rural business ideas and startups. So that's a case that we are working, that we have an Erasmus Plus project with them for developing a curricula. So more or less, these are the main results from this visit. And I want to leave some time for questions. You can ask me and I can answer.
Okay, thanks, Ardita. You had a good conference there, and if I heard it right, the most interesting ideas would be that you build some kind of connection or network to the other interesting partners. So the next steps would be different kind of project, international projects concerning how to develop, for instance, teaching modules, or maybe some kind of knowledge transfer or something to sell even. So, but I think that our stuff, maybe Antti will know best, but the rest of us don't know exactly what is the agriculture like in Kosovo. What is the average size of farms, and do you remember how many farms, or for instance in dairy sector there are? So is it a good market area for agriculture knowledge transfer?
Yeah, thanks for the question, and Mika. And yeah, the thing is that agriculture was very destroyed during the war, like before 15 years, and it was really that much destroyed that people after the war started to how can I say rebuild agriculture only for family needs in rural areas because there was no support, there was no machinery because that was all stolen or destroyed during the war. But last 5 years, the things are changing rapidly. So people, or even government, they saw that one of the very important one of the very important economic sectors is agriculture. And I can say that the farm size are more or less same like in Finland. I'm talking about dairy farms because there are like smaller farms, and you can find mainly farms from that they have 5 cows and then end up with the ones that they are like around 300 cows. And if you have 300 cows, they count it as a big farm. Why I think that there is potential for the export and potential for the cooperation agriculture is that they are in the stage that they are developing, and in the developing phase you really have good chances to sell your ideas, to sell your services there. And I even had an interesting discussion with a guy here in Finland that what about the used small machinery from Finland to be exported there? And I was really very surprised because that's a good idea, because having that small farms, you cannot afford to buy new big machinery. And usually they need small machinery. That's one of the ideas. And then there is no milking robots. But if this is the trend of increasing the dairy farms, soon they will come to a stage that they will need robots into their farms. So dairy, so far, dairy sector is the main one there, is much more developed, and the only problem is that there is not enough field, arable field, because the field that can be used for cultivation is mainly used for fruits and vegetables. Having in mind the climate there is very good climate for cultivating fruits and vegetables. Kosovo now is exporting a lot of peppers because it's known for very good and tasty peppers. It's exporting a lot of peppers to Germany, Austria, and Italy. A lot of mushrooms are exported to Italy and Germany. And then snails. There are farms that cultivate snails because it's high temperatures, high humidity, so there is a lot of cultivation of snails. Then a lot of apples are also exported. And when we come to vegetables like cucumbers, tomatoes, now there is a new strategy that the tomatoes also are produced in the late season, like in August and September, because there is a good potential, or they are also exporting a lot to Albania and Montenegro, because at that period there is summer holidays, a lot of tourists, so there is demand for tomatoes and cucumber and other green salads. So when we are at the dairy, it's developing, but I don't think that it will develop in that high stage as fruits and vegetables. That's just because of the lack of the field, because Kosovo is mainly mountain. But also lamb sector is developing a lot, and mainly there is export to Bosnia and Herzegovina and Italy, and that's because of the mountains that we have. I just heard that the poultry is doing also well, because poultry, it was one of the big lacks there, but now it's developing a lot. I just learned while I was there that no eggs are anymore imported. The broilers number of imported also decreased quite a lot. but still there is to be done. And I have heard that there are some initiatives for a project with Finland, but still I couldn't find out who is planning this, that they are planning to do some activities in poultry in Kosovo. So that's why I think that there is space and potential that we can export some knowledge there, but at the same time we can gain some experience of some other sectors that they are not so developed in Finland.
Okay, thanks for a very good answer, Ardita. While
Yeah,
others...
and
okay.
you also asked me about how many farms there are.
Yes.
I really cannot answer right now because the number is really changing. So I have to check the statistics in order that I give you the right answer.
Okay, okay, thanks.
And remembering that for 3 years I'm not there, I have to check like how fast is increasing number of farms.
Okay, thanks. So while others think suitable questions for you, I remind that we had a joint project concerning how to study or give knowledge to the advisory system there. It was a joint project with Savonia, Pro Agria North Savo, and Pro Agria Center of Association at Vantaa. And Antti had to go with a customer, so he isn't online now, but I think that it was a quite good project and gave new ideas and some kind of new point of view into the advisory sector as well. I think that it was good, and I think that when we had these kind of projects, the next steps could be easier, and I assume that in Savonia you are planning different kind of similar projects, how to export knowledge into different countries, and that way maybe you can have a good benefit and also networks for next steps.
Yeah, actually, we are trying to somehow duplicate that project because it was very successful, and we already submitted a proposal with Russia because Russia is very interested about it, and we have a lot of requests also from African countries. That's why we submitted a project also with Mozambique, more or less the same idea, and we are waiting about the answer. And it will, like this month, we will have to find out if we got the project or not, or what are the, or at least what's the feedback.
Okay, thanks. So, do you have any other questions who are listening to this presentation? Any questions? Auvo Saarana from LUKE, meaning Institute of Natural Resources. Auvo, you are also a scientist. What do you think about this presentation or seminar, which Ardita told? Did it sound interesting to you? So please, Auvo, if you want to comment, please. Auvo's microphone is open, so please. Okay, there's some kind of technical problems. Mic is open, but well, at the next steps we'll probably hear and maybe can have even some kind of joint project. I think that at Pro Agria's view, these kind of projects are interesting because I think that more and more financiers think that working life partners is very useful in these kind of projects, and we can give some kind of small part or bigger part on these kind of projects. But future will show what kind of next steps we can take.
Yeah, actually, I'm planning, Mika, that I will organize a meeting first with you, because there is this ideas of the Erasmus Plus projects where I want you to be involved, of course, and but I'm still in the developing phase, and I think that after New Year I will have like much more clear picture, and then I can present that to you, and I think that we will find a common interest that we are partners in those projects.
Okay, thanks. So, any questions now? I will send at the chat box that his mic isn't working, so we won't be hearing our comments. So, other questions, please, if you have. Maybe we have time for that, but no one is opening some mic, so I think that now we give thanks to Ardita. This maybe a different kind of project of different kind of participations. This is one of the projects or one of the seminars that we could clearly see that we can export knowledge, because when we are participating big seminar from, for instance, Denmark, Great Britain, or something like that, the idea is to have new ideas to us. So this is a different kind of point of view. So I'm now connecting or disconnecting this recording. So thanks for
I
this.
just want to add something, Mika, before you close. If somebody is interested about abstract, I have one book, and I'm more than happy to scan it or copy it and send it to somebody who is interested.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes. So no questions. So thanks, Ardita, and the rest of you participating in this. And next week we have yet this kind of WebEx meeting. Then at the Savonia, I think the Salla Ruuska will tell his participating trip to Portugal at Derricker meeting, but that is next week. So this was this WebEx, and thanks everyone for participating.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hyvää viikonloppua.
Same. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.